Welcome back, everyone. Obviously, I am on the road for the NRA show. We have good news for you today. A legal decision that, of course, the NRA had nothing to do with because they're trash. This one has to do with our friends over at Gun Owners of America. So we have a temporary win in the case for, essentially, if you watched my video about a month ago, the ATF was trying to change the rule on who had to obtain a FFL in order to sell firearms. The rule that they put out, or the decision that they put out, was so broad that basically anyone who sold even a single firearm could be considered a FFL, and if they sold it without first obtaining their federal firearms license, they could be committing a crime. At least that was what the ATF said. Of course, Gun Owners of America, Texas, as well as I believe 27 other states, Florida as well, in a separate lawsuit. So stay tuned because rulings will be coming out in that as well. But the decision for this one here, which is the state of Texas versus the ATF, has been handed down because it was supposed to go into effect this morning. The ruling came out last night, and the judge issued a temporary restraining order protecting a number of folks from this rule. However, a number of folks will also not be protected from this rule. We'll get to that here in just a second. Let's dive into the document here. It's not that long. I think it's 14 or 15 pages. I will link it down below so that way you guys can check it out. But essentially, he finds 3 problems with it and then gives injunctive relief. The final rule likely violates the APA. Judicial review under the APA is limited to the administrative record. Agencies, as mere creatures of statute, must point to explicit congressional authority justifying their decisions. And then he goes on to cite that decision. And what he's saying here is that the ATF and the Department of Justice have created this rule so broadly that it simply is just too much editorializing and not based on the law that Congress passed. Speaking of that, for folks who are new here, this all comes out of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which unfortunately a number of Republicans did vote for. So if you live in an area where you have a Republican representative that voted for this, like Tony Gonzalez in Texas, for example, vote them out in this primary because they are trash. Let's move on. Second, the final rule suggests that actual profit is not a requirement of the statute. It is only the predominant intent to earn a profit through repetitive purchase and resale of firearms that is required. In other words, a person may repeatedly advertise and display firearms for sale and therefore demonstrate a predominant intent to earn a profit from repeatedly selling and reselling firearms purchased, but never actually find a buyer. So what he's saying there is that under the rule, the way it's worded, you could be charged with a crime simply for advertising your firearm on Gunbroker, Arms List, etc., even if you don't actually sell it. Again, that is how insane this rule is. Third, the final rule arbitrarily eviscerates Section 921's safe harbor provision. The provision reads, the term engaged in a business shall not include a person who makes occasional sales, exchanges, or purchases of firearms for the enhancement of a personal collection or for hobby, or who sells all or part of his personal collection to firearms. So again, just another violation of statutory federal law. So with that, let's get to the important part at the end. Defendants are temporarily restrained from enforcing the regulations defined of engaged in a business as a dealer in firearms published at 89 Federal Regulation blah 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 against plaintiffs Texas, Jeffrey Tormey, who is a member of Gun Owners of America, the Gun Owners of America, the Gun Owners Foundation, the Tennessee Firearms Association, the Virginia Citizens Defense League through June 2nd, 2024. So what does that mean for a normal person? It means that if you are a member of any of those organizations or if you live in Texas, this law does not apply to you until, again, June. Now, so it's temporary because the case has to go forward to a higher level of court. So if you are not a member of those organizations or you don't live in Texas or you're not the named plaintiff, then as of right now, at least as of how I read it, this does not apply to you. And if you are selling firearms anywhere, I would just be very careful doing so until more rulings come out, hopefully completely eliminating this final rule. Like I said, there's 2 other major lawsuits. The next one up, I think, is Florida, but there's another one as well that represents, I think, like 13 states. So those will be coming. Stay tuned for that, but that is what it means right now. If you're a member of these organizations, you're good. You can sell your firearms through June 2nd, and this rule does not apply to you, or if you live in the state of Texas. For everyone else, it's a little sketchy out there. So With that, guys, that's all I have for you. If you have any questions, you can post them down below. As always, if you like what you saw here, normally we don't film in a hotel lobby, hit the subscribe button. We normally have a nicer filming location, but if you've hit the subscribe button, you hit the notification bell, and you're still not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, make sure you sign up for my email list at the websites here on your screen. This email goes out once a month, and it has all the videos since the previous month's email went out, so that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes for my content. Additionally, make sure you're signed up for all my social media platforms, because that's where this news breaks first, particularly the non-meta ones, because I can't post there very often. And additionally, we do have a daily deals email. The deal goes out, or the email rather, goes out every day, and it has 8 of the best deals that we find around the internet. If the item, whatever it is, guns, optics, ammo, etc., is in the email, it's the cheapest I know of anywhere on the internet on that particular day, so hopefully it saves you guys some time and also saves you some money, because I've already done the looking for you. And with that, guys, we'll close it out. Thanks for watching. We have a temporary win, but the fight is still on. We'll see you in the next video.